Hey everybody, my name is Dan Belcher and I'm a co-founder at mabl. I'm joined here by my colleague Gev.
Hello everyone, I'm Hovsepyan, the head of product at mabl.
One of the best parts of my job is that I get to spend a lot of time talking with software engineering teams and their leaders, and one topic comes up again and again, and that's that mobile testing is a ton of work. It's a lot of work to get good coverage across the rich functionality in modern mobile apps, and then you have to deal with application deployments, builds, installation of new versions, and so much more. And you're doing that across devices and operating systems and different versions all at once. In fact, a former manual mobile tester once joked with me that they still have 2 buckets of phones under their desks. About 70% of mobile app developers still rely on manual testing during development. And of course, manual testing is just too slow to keep up with the pace of modern development. So we'd like to automate our mobile testing. Unfortunately, traditional scripted frameworks aren't any easier. Test scripts are complex to build and they require constant maintenance. In fact, over a third of teams said that test maintenance was the top pain point associated with using scripted solutions. And the last piece I'll touch on here is the reliance we have on mobile app marketplaces. The lead time for marketplaces is important because when you push a new version with a defect, now you have to not only fix the defect, but wait for the marketplace to approve the new version. And I'll let Gev talk about why that is so important.
First, we spend a lot of time on our mobile devices. And while we are on our mobile devices, we spend 7 times more in mobile apps than in mobile browser. And second, most of us, more specifically 85%, prefers to shop in mobile apps. This is great news for app developers, but with this adoption trends, the impact of delivering poor quality apps is much higher. The average mobile app loses 77% of its daily active users within 3 days of being downloaded. And people who have negative experience on mobile are 62% less likely to buy from that brand in the future. So it is so important to make great first impression. And even if your mobile app is must use, your brand reputation can be damaged. I think it's also important to note that we live and work across desktop and mobile devices, and users have come to expect similar experiences across those applications. Dan, do you want to share how we're going to address these challenges?
Of course. After hearing feedback from our community and software teams around the world, I am excited to share that today we're releasing a new mobile testing solution with the same intelligent low-code experience that you've come to expect from mabl. For those of you who are already using mabl for browser and API testing, you'll see some similarities. We're removing complexity without you giving up control. We're making it easy to collaborate and enabling you to take advantage of the power of cloud computing. Now, if you aren't using mabl today, I hope you'll see how much we've simplified the problem of mobile app testing. It is easy to create tests in mabl. You create end-to-end tests from an end user's perspective without necessarily writing code or managing the complexity of test clients. During that process of creating tests, mabl uses AI to model the elements under test and uses just the right attributes to minimize your test maintenance in the future. If you're an automation engineer or a developer, you can build on mabl's native capabilities using Appium, and your teams can make use of those extensions across your entire test suites. You can then run those tests across various virtual devices and operating system configurations, and you can do that in parallel, in the cloud. Now you can get rid of that bucket of devices under your desk once and for all, and you'll get the results back that you need in minutes instead of hours or days. And finally, you can quickly combine browser, API, and mobile tests within the same suites, making it as easy as possible for you to have comprehensive coverage across your entire user experience.
And teams are already seeing the benefit of one solution for browser and mobile testing. Some of the great teams we work with have already shared results such as 90% growth in mobile test coverage and 10 times shorter test creation. One team was able to run tests in as little as 2 minutes. Our good friends at SmugMug and Flickr were early adopters of our mobile testing solution and were invaluable in sharing feedback. Their testing strategy was a mix of manual testing on real devices and automated tests written in platform-specific framework executed on virtual devices. Now, their team is able to create tests in minutes and trigger those tests in their GitHub CI workflow. The solution is already in use and teams have seen 90% growth in their test coverage and can create tests 10 times faster than scripted solutions. Now their team is able to create new tests in minutes and trigger those tests in their GitHub CI workflow.
Now, why don't we take a look at it in action? So as I mentioned, mabl's native mobile testing is fully integrated with the rest of the platform. So as I'm creating a new test, I just select mobile test. I enter some basic information about the test and I choose cloud training. Now that means that I don't have to install or configure any emulators locally to be able to create my test. I simply choose my application, upload or select my build file, select the device type and operating system version that I want to create the test against, and click Create Test. So here I'm using the Wikipedia app as my target application. And you can see that as I interact with that app, mabl's recording the steps that I take, whether that's to scroll or tap on a button or fill out a field or what have you. Beyond generating tests based on your interactions and adding assertions, we've also built in support for programming concepts such as conditionals, looping, variables, and parameterization, and even reusable functions or flows. We then extended the framework to natively support capabilities such as making API requests as part of your mobile tests, and also pushing files. Finally, when all else fails, you can roll up your sleeves and write some Appium. Now, once I've saved that test, I can choose to execute it. I can execute it locally if I happen to have my emulators and simulators installed on my device, but more importantly, we can run these tests with just a few clicks in the cloud. I choose my build file, the virtual devices that I want to execute the test against, and the relevant operating system versions. I click Start, and now we're going to provision and execute these tests in parallel in the cloud, again, with no infrastructure to manage or scale on your own. Now, it's once I create these tests that the value of a unified platform really comes to the forefront. I can take all of my mobile tests alongside my API tests and even potentially my browser and performance tests and have them run as part of comprehensive test plans. They can run on a schedule or based on deployments or even on a timer, say every 4 hours. We use a consistent approach to reporting across mobile and browser and other types of tests. For our mobile tests, you have screenshots for every step of every test so that you know exactly what was happening when, for example, that test failed. We also have detailed logs of how that test is executed and the information that mabl was using to locate elements, for example. And of course, your testing doesn't happen just inside of mabl. It's fully integrated with your software delivery pipeline. Your mobile testing can be easily integrated into your CI, into your continuous deployment, and also into other collaboration tools such as Slack or Microsoft Teams or even Jira. So I hope that makes it clear how easy automated mobile testing can really be with mabl, and also the value of bringing these capabilities together in one unified platform. We are so honored to be a part of SmugMug's journey and support software teams around the world that work to build the best possible experiences for their users. If you'd like to learn more about mabl's new mobile testing solution, you can sign up for a free 14-day trial or request a demo on mabl.com. Thank you so much for your time today. We are thrilled to get this into your hands to help you work more efficiently and create better mobile and web experiences for your users.